Hey, it's Rafael Cintron here, and in this video, we're gonna talk about how to analyze your Facebook ad results the right way to make scaling or pausing decisions the best possible way. Let's go. If you don't know me, I'm Rafael Cintron from Automated E-commerce. We teach more than 48,000 people here on YouTube how to start and grow their e-commerce businesses through advertising, Facebook, Google, YouTube ads, and many different ways to grow your business. If you're interested in learning more and actually taking your business to the next level, learning from me directly, make sure to click that first link in the description for our 5-day live training. All right, off to the Facebook ads analysis. This is actually taken from my private mentorship program. I have a module on how to analyze your Facebook ads, and I took an excerpt of that to show you here how to actually do it. So Facebook ads, science and numbers, how to look at your data to make decisions, what to pause, what to scale, when to pause, how long should you run things. This is something that a lot of people have asked me for, so I'm definitely bringing it to you today. So what we're gonna cover in this particular video, it is basically a course video that you would find in a paid course. I'm actually gonna go into deep detail into everything. So the first thing is how to analyze your Facebook ads results and what specific numbers you should be looking at during your journey. When you're scaling, when you're spending 100 per day, when you're spending 1,000 per day, what should you look at? How to know if an ad and audience will be profitable with just a few dollars spent. If you spent $5, $10, depending on your budget, I don't want you to spend $1,000 and then look at your data and think, oh, this didn't go well. When you spend 10, maybe 100, then you already know if it's actually gonna work or not, and how to interpret your Facebook data to make scaling and pausing decisions. The first thing, exact numbers you should be looking at and why you should be looking at those. The perfect Facebook ads columns for analysis. I know a lot of people are struggling with what column should I put on my Facebook ads? What column should I be looking at? We're covering that and each metric and how it relates to your ad performance. So what essentially everything means and all the acronyms and all of that. So first up, the Facebook ads columns that I like to look at. The first one is CTR. CTR is the click-through rate. What is the percentage of people that are clicking on your ad? CPC, cost per link click. How much does it take to get one person onto your store? Frequency. How many times does somebody see your ad? If you have a frequency of 1, that means that all your audience is seeing your ad at one time. If you have a frequency of 2, 3, 4, that's just the number of times that one person is seeing the ad again and again. Website content views. How many people are hitting your website, looking at the website page? Cost per content view. How much does it cost you to see one person on the website? Website add to cart. How much does it cost you for somebody to add something to their cart? Cost per that action. Checkout, how much does it take to somebody to go to the checkout page, to the shipping page, go through all that process, that cost, and the purchase, how much does it cost you to actually get somebody to buy from you. Bid strategy, which is what are you doing with your bid? Most of the time, this is going to be lowest cost. You're not gonna go into manual bidding or cost cap, but we're just gonna put it just so you keep track of what you are doing. Your budget, how much money are you spending per day? Amount spent, pretty self-explanatory. Purchase conversion value, how much have you made from that purchase? How much are you actually going to make from that particular sale? Maybe it's $50, $100, $2,000, whatever you make from that sale. Purchase return on ad spend, how much are you making for every dollar that you spend? Think about it as a machine. Let's say you put $1 in, you get $2 back. Your purchase ROAS, return on ad spend, is 2. Impressions, how many people are looking at your ad? How many people have seen your ad? CPM, cost per 1,000 impressions. We're gonna look at this based on just the cost of what it'll take to reach 1,000 people. Link clicks, how many clicks are we getting to the website? Reach, how many people are we reaching with our ads? Delivery, and quality ranking, engagement ranking, and conversion ranking, which are metrics that don't show up in the beginning when you're starting to run ads. They show up later and they show up in the ad section. And these are really important to determine if your ad will be good for Facebook, will scale properly, if it's doing well, what you need to fix. And here we are on the Facebook Ads Manager. So you know where these columns are, how to pick them, how to know where they are. When you go to your Facebook Ads Manager and you click columns and then you click customize columns, you will see all of these results for your Facebook ad. And usually there will be, depending on what you're targeting, what you are running, and maybe the configuration or your country, you're gonna have maybe many different columns. And the ones that matter are the ones that I just talked about. So what you can do, click customize columns and take all of this out here on the right-hand side and make sure that you are using the ones that I'm talking about. So CTR, CPC, and what you can do is click CTR and then find it here. Always check the link click-through rate, CTR, CPC, cost per link click, frequency, put it here, content views, website content views, total, and cost. Then we have add to carts, total, and cost, checkouts, total, and cost, purchase, total, cost, ROAS, and so on. And all of these metrics, you're gonna put them on your Facebook ads columns. So every time you can analyze those metrics. And also what's cool about Facebook is you can save them. So for example, you can save them as preset. You can put like Rafael or automated e-commerce so that you know where you got these metrics, and you can always refer to them and just put automated e-commerce. For example, you can put bid strategy, budget, and you can go through every single one, put them here, save them, and then once you're looking through your Facebook ads columns and once you're looking through your Facebook ads data, all you need to do is refer to the save as preset, automated e-commerce, and you'll see all of your data, all of your numbers pull up there. Really quick, before you keep watching, I just want to congratulate Stefano from Italy for winning our $0 to $300,000 case study that I did with my student Johnny. We show you the ads strategy and everything that it took to get him to that point, including Facebook ads and all the details that he did to actually get to multiple six figures a month. If you want to win that case study, all you got to do is comment down below your city or your country where you're watching me from, subscribe, hit that notification bell and that like button, and I'll pick a winner from this video. The perfect Facebook ads metrics and what you should be looking at or categorizing between these. So CPM, which is the cost per 1,000 impressions, CTR, click-through rate, and CPC, and the engagement ranking, reach, and delivery all tell you about how your ad and audience are performing. So the main ones that I like to look at is the CPM, CTR, and CPC. CTR and CPC being the top ones that I look at because what we pay to get somebody on our website is going to determine everything. If we pay $5 to get somebody on our website versus if we pay $1 to get somebody on our website, our cost will be 5 times lower if we pay $1 to get somebody on our website. So it's very important. It's a metric that'll show up pretty much immediately on your Facebook ads, and you need to learn how to analyze it to then make other decisions. CTR, how many people are clicking on your website out of 100? You're targeting 100 people, 5 are clicking on it. That's great, 5% CTR. Maybe nobody is clicking on it, so there's no clicks. That's pretty bad. That means your ad is not attracting people. Then we got the add to cart and the cost of the add to cart, the initiated checkout and the cost of the initiated checkout, the purchase and the purchase value versus the return on ad spend. I'm going to show you exactly how to calculate that return on ad spend. If you put $1 in, how much are you getting out? That's going to determine your conversion and your store. It's also going to talk about the audience, the store, and the product. So if you are getting people on the website, but they're not buying, that could be many things. That could be your audience. We're going to talk about it in just a second. That could be your store. Maybe just people are not trusting the store. They're not buying from it because they think their money's just going to disappear. Or it could be your product. People are interested in the ad, but when they go to the website, it's kind of misleading. They don't like it. And then the conversion ranking, it's the metric that you're going to use for scaling. How good are you getting people in the door and actually buying from you? What are the exact number ranges that you should be in? And this training, I actually made it a couple of months ago. Now it's a little bit different. Costs are a little bit higher on Facebook. So the exact number ranges you should be in for your cost per click, I always say you should be around $1. Your cost to get somebody on the website should always be around $1, $1 US. If it's more than that, let's say it's $2, $3, $4, it's gonna be very hard to be profitable with your Facebook ads. Because let's say you get people for $4 a piece and you get somebody on your website, it costs you $5 to do that. If you get 100 people, that's $400 spent to get 100 people on your website. So even if you get an amazing conversion rate, let's say 10 out of 100 people buy, you're still spending $400. Those 10 people have to spend on your website more than 400 in order for you to be profitable. It's a tough metric to really get really high. So if you're getting a $5 cost per click, you're probably not gonna be profitable unless you get like a 20% conversion rate, which is pretty hard to achieve. The CTR, which is the click-through rate, how many people out of 100 are clicking on your ad, should be around 1.7% to 2.5. This is what we try to strive to. A 2% is a good CTR. If you are not getting people clicking on your ad, that's an ad problem or an audience problem. If you are getting like a 5%, 10% CTR, that's great. That means everybody's clicking on it. Then the CPM, this was actually a couple months ago. It should be more around $25 to $30 because now with the holidays coming up, Q4, you probably won't get a $15 CPM as you would in Q1 or Q2. So the CPM, the cost per 1,000 impressions, should be around 25 to 35. If you're getting higher than that, it might just be that your ad is not catching attention. Facebook is not giving you good people watching your ad. So it's not a metric that I strictly look at to know if my ads are doing well, but it's something that you should know in order to know if you are spending the right amount of money on the right audience. And then cost per add to cart, I'm gonna break down all of the costs right now. So let's say that your product price is $100 and your cost per add to cart, how much it costs you to get somebody on the website, it should be less than $20. So an add to cart, somebody actually adding to cart on your website, should be less than $20, 20% of the product price to 50% of the product price. So if you're getting somebody, let's say your product is $100 and you're getting somebody to add to cart for $60, you're probably not gonna be profitable unless every add to cart turns into a purchase. So you want to be around the 20%, like it costs you $20 to get somebody for a product price of $100 to add to cart. That's what you wanna be at. The cost per initiated checkout, again, 40% to 60% of the product price. So if your product is $100, your cost per initiated checkout should be around 40 or ideally less. And your purchase cost depends on your product price and your cost of good. So a great way to do this is to go to a tool called Dropship Toolkit. You can just pull it up, Dropship Toolkit, and you can just look it up on Google. And it's this one right here. And how do we determine your purchase ROAS, your profit margin, your break-even ROAS, all of that? So remember that I said ROAS, return on ad spend. Let's say you put $1 into a machine, you get something back. So that's how we're gonna determine it. So COGS is cost of goods. Let's say your product is 100, to make it very simple. Your selling price $100 or $99.99. And your cost of that product is, let's say, 25. Your ROAS, your return on ad spend, that you need to pass, you need to be higher than that on your ads, should be more than 1.33. Because if it's less than 1.33, you're probably losing money. And in reality, it should be more than 1.33 because 1.33 with merchant fees, maybe you get a chargeback here or there, you're gonna actually lose money. So if you want, you can put it like a 2%, 3% extra, let's say like a 27, it should be more than 1.37. If these numbers are confusing you, you can go back and refer to them later. But this is how we determine the purchase ROAS and the cost that it should be. So the cost multiplier is 4, profit margin, we have 75. So if the product cost is 25 and the selling price is 100, we have a 75 margin on Facebook. That means we can spend $75 to acquire a purchase and break even. With merchant fees, with chargebacks, it'll be less, but that's how much we have. So if a cost per purchase is more than 75, we know we're losing. So this tool just makes it very easy. Before I used to have this complete weird calculation to actually determine this, but let's say your cost per goods changes to 19. Now you have even more profit margin. You have more ability to spend more on ads. So now the purchase is 81 cost per purchase to be profitable, or at least break even. And let's say that instead of 100, you get 150 per sale. So now you have a profit margin of 131. So that's why upsells, bundles, getting people to spend more on your website is so important, because the way that you increase profitability, grow your store, grow your ads is really one of two. You decrease your costs or you increase your value, how much money you make. So let's say that we can decrease our cost to maximum 17, which for a $100 product probably isn't the case. But if we increase our selling price to 200, 250, we get people spending $400 on the website. That increases our profit margin or our available spend on Facebook massively. You can spend $383 to acquire one purchase or one person buying. You can beat your competitors. You can spend more on ads. So this is where the concept of if you spend more than your competitors, you're going to beat them because you have that ability of spending more money just by increasing your selling price or by lowering your cost of goods. If your cost of good increases to, let's say, 40, now you have a lot less, 360. So that is how that all works. And I used to have this complicated cost per purchase target formula, but I don't use it anymore. I just use the toolkit. So how to interpret your data. Bad front-end metrics, what we call front-end and back-end. Front-end is CPC, CTR, and CPM. Remember I said CPC needs to be around $1, CTR needs to be around 2%, CPM needs to be around 25 bucks. Either your ads are poor or audiences need testing if these metrics are not met. So let's say your CPC is like $6, $10. Obviously it's a lot different than $1. So we have to figure out what is bad here. Either your ad or your audience. One of those two. I'm gonna tell you in the next slide which one of those two it is. Good front-end metrics Let's say your CPC is good, your CTR is good, your CPM is solid, but you're not getting anybody adding to cart. You're not getting anybody initiating checkout. That's a problem. But it's not a problem with the ad. It's a problem with the product page or your funnel. Something going wrong in the checkout process. Maybe somebody is clicking on something wrong. Maybe like the people that you're targeting are old. They don't know how to go through your website. Maybe you're like charging $50 for shipping or something insane like that. We have to figure out what's happening on the back end. And then let's say you have good add to cart, but high purchase cost. You're not profitable, but you're getting a lot of people adding to cart. There's probably something wrong with your checkout, or you're not targeting abandoned carts, which we always get abandoned carts. No matter what business, no matter what niche you're in, you're always gonna get people abandoning your cart. You have to make sure that you retarget them. You have to make sure that you send emails and texts to them through SMS. So let's go and analyze whether it's the ad or the audience problem. Ads versus audience. Which one is the problem? If your front-end metrics are bad, if your CPC is out of whack. If 4 audiences are tested with 1 ad, let's say what I always tell my students is if you're running multiple audiences, the more the better. Because with one product, there's many variables. Maybe somebody likes it, but they're not actually gonna buy it. Maybe somebody is going to buy it, but they actually don't buy such cheap products. They buy more expensive. Maybe it's the other way around. They buy cheap products, they don't buy expensive ones, like the ones that you have. So it's good to test multiple audiences, brands about your product, brands of your industry, magazines, TV shows, influencers, people that are famous in your industry. Target many, many different things. If you want a targeting module or something to learn about targeting, you can click the link in the description. So our 4 audiences are tested with one particular ad, one creative, one video, one text, one headline, and they all underperform. They're all terrible. All your audiences, let's say you test like 4, 8 audiences, and they're all terrible. All the CPC is like $10, CPC is like $5. Your ad probably sucks. Your video is really bad. Your ad text is not attracting anybody to click on it. That's the issue here. So you have to look at it in terms of how many audiences am I testing? How many ads am I testing? If you're testing multiple audiences with one ad, and it's all terrible, all your ads are bad, it's probably your ad. If 4 audiences are tested with one ad and 2 audiences are bad, they have a CPC with crazy high costs, but 2 of them are good, that means your audiences need work. Those 2 audiences are good, you can test more that are similar to it. Change the audiences and test more targeting options. Now, if you test multiple audiences with 2 ads or more, let's say you test 8 audiences, 10 audiences, and 2, 3, 4 ads, and they're all terrible, in that case, I would tell you to change the product. So you have to really test them properly. If you're testing multiple audiences with one ad and they're all bad, change your ad, test another ad. If that ad still doesn't perform, let's test more audiences. If you test more than 8 audiences with really bad ads, with multiple ads, then you gotta change your product. If everything is bad, that's when you have to change your product. So make sure that you test it properly. Make sure that you test 6, 8 audiences or more. Make sure that you test 2 or more ads, so that you're not just trying to get one thing right, you're trying to get everything right. If everything goes wrong, all the costs are wrong, then you can move on to another product. Determining scale and pausing. How do we determine if something is working or not? Top front-end metrics is CPM, CPC, CTR. It's pretty good. It's within the range that we want it. Plus, average or top back-end metrics. We want people buying from our products, buying from our store. We want to actually get a profitable return on ad spend, a profitable cost per purchase. You can scale by duplicating those audiences that are doing very well for you, that have a break even or have a return on ad spend higher than your break even, and expanding the variations. You can put similar ads with new audiences. You can put more cold traffic. Cold traffic basically means just people that have never heard from you, the new audiences. You can do lookalike audiences. If you want to learn more about lookalikes, I can make a training on that. But you have to make sure that front end and back end are good for at least 3 days in order to scale. So let's say that you're testing 8 audiences and 2 ads, and the CPC is good, the CTR is good, people are buying, you're profitable. Remember, like I said in the dropship toolkit, break-even ROAS, something costs, or your selling price 100, your cost is 20, your break-even ROAS is 125, break-even return on ad spend, and you're getting a break-even return on ad spend of 1.8, 2, 5. That's great, that's profitable. But it needs to be running for at least 3 days. A period of 3 days minimum, because if just the first day is great, maybe the next 2 days are terrible and your ROAS, your return on ad spend, just goes down. So you have to run at least 3 days, and then you can start scaling, duplicating, adding more audiences, and so on. Bad front-end metrics. Let's say CPC is bad, CTR is bad, CPM is bad, everything is bad. You test multiple ads, everything is bad. At least run it for 3 to 4 days because we don't want to pause something just because the first 24 hours are bad. We want to let something spend and have that volatility of day to day. Let's say if you launch something on Christmas or New Year, some particular days are really bad for Facebook, but maybe the next day it's going to get great results. So you need to run it for a while. If it stays underperforming, you can pause it, change something. And good front-end metrics, you have a good CPC, good CTR, good costs. But bad front-end metrics, you're not getting sales. You're not getting people buying. You're getting people buying, but not profitable. Do not scale. And I've seen this happen to a lot of people. They get really good costs. They get people cheap. They get a lot of add to carts and they start scaling, spending more, duplicating, but they're not profitable. So that's why that break-even ROAS, that ROAS is extremely important, because if that is not higher than your break-even, you have break-even ROAS of 1.2 and your current ROAS is 1.5, 2, 3, that's great. If your current ROAS is below that break-even, that means you're losing. You can't scale something that's losing. So that's why it's so important to look at all of these metrics carefully. Now, your action items to do from this particular training. I know I talked about a lot about different numbers and different calculations. Facebook ads is a science. You need to really learn how to navigate through those numbers. You need to learn what everything means. You need to make sure that you look at them every 24 hours, 48 hours, pay attention to the numbers, pay attention to how they relate to each other, pay attention to what I said about if you're not testing multiple audiences, it's probably an audience problem. You need to test audiences, ads, make sure your funnel works properly, make sure people are buying from you, your shipping is properly set up on Shopify, and everything is set up properly. A lot of numbers lead to a lot of confusion. Focus on the important ones that I talk about. Remove distractions. Look at your data, remove any feelings. So analyze your numbers that you're getting. Analyze your CPC, your CTR, your add to cart costs, your purchase costs, your break-even ROAS. Don't just scale something because you think it's doing well, because this especially happens with a lot of beginners. You're spending 100, 200 on ads, you're being very profitable, or maybe you think you're profitable and you feel like you should scale. You feel like you should add more money. Oh, I'm making money, finally, let me put more money into Facebook ads. But sometimes you're just losing. You're breaking even. And it's not the time to really scale. It's not the time to put more money into your campaigns. So look at your numbers, make sure that it is the right time to scale. And making scaling decisions based on concrete numbers, not just on a hunch, not just on hoping that it goes well. Do not scale a semi-winner, what we call a semi-winner, which is something that has good CPC, good front-end costs, but bad back-end. It's not getting sales, not going over that break-even ROAS, really bad results on the back-end. Don't scale that, scale with caution, and don't put your foot on the brake. What that means is, let's say that your break-even ROAS is, in this case, 1.25, and your current ROAS, what you are getting is 4, 5. You're extremely profitable. You have 5, 10 sales. You have multiple audiences doing well. Don't think, oh, let me just keep running it. Let me see if it does well over the next 2 weeks or something. You can scale that. If over the 3-4 day period, it's profitable, over that break-even ROAS, making you money, doing well, you can scale and take it to the next level. That is it for the Facebook ads analysis video. Let me know if you like this style. If you want me to make more course related or more course content videos here on YouTube. They're not flashy, they're not top winning products, anything like that, but they are very important for your journey to learn everything. If you want to learn directly from me live over a 5-day period, everything that you need to grow your Shopify business to a next level, make sure to click that first link down in the description, join our 5-day live training. And if you want to mentor directly with me, if you have something that you want to do, you want to scale up your company to 10,000 per month, 100,000 per month, you want to work with me, mentor with me and my team of more than 15 people to help you with your business, make sure to click that second link in the description and book a free one-on-one discovery call with either my trained partner or my 6-figure student. See if we're a right fit to work together and get you results. And now that you know how to analyze your Facebook ad metrics, if you want to see how one of my students went from $0 to $200,000 per month or $197,000 per month with Facebook ads, the whole strategy, everything that he did to get to that point, make sure to click the video that's going to pop up right here. $0 to $197,000 by my student Johnny. Make sure to watch the case study right here. I interview him. He tells everything that he did in the process. Subscribe. We're almost at 50,000 subscribers. Hit that notification bell and that like button, and I will see you on the next video.